Robin, grazing infrastructure in an autumn calving herd, do you think it's any different to what you'd have for a spring calving herd, or do you have the same emphasis on it?
I think we've got the same. I think we've got the same grazing because we're still grazing.
Yeah. So what is your season grazing? Say, your cows are obviously in at the minute. When will they go out typically?
Probably March time, I expect, and they'll be in. I mean, we were grazing, and we were grazing until till the end of October this year. But we only bring them in because we want to start AIing and get them on even plane of nutrition.
Yeah.
But as soon as we can get it, we'll be out earlier grazing this year, hopefully.
Okay.
Because there's quite a bit of grass left over from last year. It wasn't long enough to cut, but it's too long to leave, if you know what I mean. So we need to get out and graze it. So yeah, you want to graze as much as you can, really, and it just depends on the weather and how it fits in.
Yeah.
If we can get them out in the day for a few weeks beforehand, great, you know.
Okay, so to aid your grazing infrastructure or your system or whatever, you're using railway sleepers.
Yeah. Well, we split the farm up, or we split all the grazing fields up into paddocks. They're about 5 acre paddocks, split with high tensile electric fence. And to get there, we put some tracks in. We had a mid-tier grant a stewardship grant, and we put sleepers down for them because we could get them on the grant, and then also we can always pull them up another day. See, because we just power out the soil underneath, lay them down upside down, and if there's a change in 40 years' time on the farm policy, we can just pick them all up, and you've still got all the soil underneath. Okay. But it works well. They work really well.
Yeah, they bed well together.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Okay.
And we leave about half a metre, about 450 mil to 500 mil either side before you get the electric fence.
Okay.
And it works well. Yeah, but the whole idea is we did look at putting tracks, concrete and all sorts. Tracks you've got to keep maintaining, the stone tracks. If you put a concrete track down, the contractor's going to want to drive down it with a big tractor, so it's got to be big enough and strong enough to cope with his tractor or it cracks up.
Yeah.
So these are 8 foot wide. You can get the Land Rover down there, the scraper tractor, the quad bike if you need to, but you can get the tractor with a hedge cutter down there just about to cut any hedges, but it's not really a track they're going to want to use.
Yeah.
And so it keeps the main farm machinery off of those tracks and keeps them for the cows. But we've still got access if we need to.
Yeah. Okay.
It works well. We're really pleased. Yeah.
Okay, great. The tracks here, Robin, they're obviously now the end product and it's all in place, but
we're very pleased.
Yeah.
We're very pleased. So this track here is, I think, 650 metres long or 700 metres long. I think he put this down in about 3 days. So we put the sleepers along the side, and then the slew came in and just put them in. We did have one slight cock up involving a railway cleat and the forage harvester, which didn't go down very well at all.
Yeah, they wouldn't like each other.
No, it really didn't like. And the metal detector didn't pick it up. It was a green cleat, and for some reason the metal detector didn't pick it up, and that was a big bang.
Yeah.
I mean, the driver jumped out the cab because he thought the bits were going to come up through the cab. That was just down here, which was a bit tricky. Okay. So we've been over it and over it again and again and again looking for these cleats now.
And so the cows like the surface?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they walk along it. It's absolutely fine. I mean, I'm conscious of a few stones on there, so we brushed the whole lot by hand the first year. I want to get a chap in with a rotary brush that sort of on a slight angle to come and brush it. We haven't got a rotary brush. Okay. And I'd like to do that. But they work well. They do work well.
Yeah. So you're fencing then, so calves are here, so you have your sheep wire or whatever?
No, yeah, we put that in to keep the calves in. I was advised just make sure the calf paddocks are really good, otherwise you end up spending all your life running after calves. Yeah. We made you can see the fence isn't particularly brilliant. We were doing this with the children just during lockdown. And apart from the fact of managing to miss their thumb in the end with the hammer and the staple, we didn't quite get the knack of pulling tension the wire up. So the next lot we did. Yeah. We did manage to get it right, but you've got to sort of see it and show it before you before people visualise where the mistake is.
Okay. And why the space then? Say
about 450 to 500 mil. So we've kept the wire here. We just use we didn't know. We just used electric fence posts to see how high that was, but we did it off of here rather than off of there. Yeah. Because this is where the cows are standing, and it seems to work quite well.
And the cows have that bit more space, I suppose, is the point.
I think they need a bit more space, otherwise they're rubbing this on the way up, and that's the last thing you want. So the track down there, we've made it wider because that's one of our main tracks up through the middle of the farm. Yeah. And sometimes they walk on the track, sometimes they walk on the grass. It's interesting. I mean, it's a bit far, so we go right up beyond that conifer wood. That's the furthest paddock, and that is just a bit too far, really, to bring the cows. It works. I mean, we do it, but it's we've just opened up another 50 acres up the other side of the hedge there on the skyline, which will be all paddocks this year, so we can just change it around a bit.
Okay, and so you've water trough then in every paddock as well?
Yeah, so we're on a borehole, and that feeds from the parlour, and that feeds from the dairy. So and we've got a backup as well. If that goes down, there's a backup we can use as well, and we could, if we wanted to, put magnesium back in the dairy just to be able to feed all these troughs, but we haven't done it because someone's got to check it.
Yeah.
And it's an easy thing not to bother checking, and then you'll have cows down. Whereas if you know you've got to put a bit of stuff in every day, you're coming out to the field anyway, just put the part bag in the trough every day, and you know it's done. Because these things that are automated, I think they're very easy to forget or not look at, or it goes wrong and you don't realise if someone's in a rush on a Sunday morning after a night before. And so we stick with it the old manual way, and you know it's done.
Okay, yeah.
Because you're in the field anyway.
Yeah, so are these 2 milking paddocks then, typically?
Well, yeah, we're slightly low on numbers for the
Yeah.
size of the paddock,
Yeah.
so it depends how the grass is growing as well.
Yeah.
So the idea was, we're probably 3 milkings, I suspect.
Yeah.
So we choose some for the ones closer we use as night paddocks, and ones further away as day paddocks. And it just depends how the grass is growing, really.
Do you subdivide, or do you just let
We
them
do
access?
no, we subdivide.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. So we'll put electric fence across, and depending on the time of year as to what grass is there, as to how many days we get grazing,
Okay.
and how many cows there are.
Yeah. Reseeding policy?
We haven't got there yet,
Yeah.
because they've only just started.
Yeah.
But we're trying to. So some of these were down. We put down to start with. But we didn't put any clover in them because we wanted to spray the docks, because especially this one here had been organic and it was full of docks. But the new lays up there have got clover in them, and we want to get some clover stitched in here, but we're just trying to control the docks first of all. So we're just had to see how we go with that, but I'm hoping we can, rather than plough it all up and redo it, I'm hoping we can just stitch some grass in on top.
Yeah.
We got a LIVESTOCK drill, and that seems pretty adaptable.
Yeah, very good.